What's going on, guys? What is up, Jet Nation? What is up, everyone out there that I am so excited. As you guys know, we took Zach Wilson yesterday, so there's nothing else I'm going to say. I'm just going to play this for you. This was my reaction yesterday.
Yes! Oh, baby! Oh, yeah! Yes! Oh, we got our guy. We freaking got our guy, Jets Nation. We got him. Zach's ours. The future is ours. We're coming.
But,
and that man right there.
I can't remember, exactly where it
take
came.
us there. Zach Wilson, baby.
So yes, I just wanted to share that with you guys quick, because as you know, that was my reaction, and it was genuine, and it was how I felt, because this is my guy. This is the one guy I've been telling you guys about nonstop. I mean, I'm still reeling on it, guys. Like, I'm still, just on cloud nine about it, just thinking about the fact that it's kind of almost surreal. We got Zach Wilson. We got the guy. You guys know, I've been talking about him since December. I love Zach Wilson. I don't have to tell you guys anything, because you guys know it. You guys have been here. You've seen everything I've said about Zach Wilson, everything I've shared with him. Nothing needs to really be said, and I'm hyped, man. I'm really, really hyped. But because, again, I told you guys, everything I personally feel about Zach Wilson, going to what was said today, because this is something that, is important. So in an interview, Zach Wilson was interviewed today by, the Jets beat writers, because that's how it works. You come here, you get your interviews. And in the interview, they asked him a pretty simple question, but it actually yielded an amazing response, like a great answer. So they asked Zach Wilson, I don't remember who it was, he asked Zach Wilson about his headband, about the headband that he wears. And the answer was that he just started wearing it because he sweats a lot, which makes sense. He sweats a lot. I get that, keep the sweat out of your eyes. That's what he said. But also that it's unique. He said that, not a lot of quarterbacks wear headbands. You see it specifically in the back of the helmet. And that stood out to me immediately, because the answer he's saying there is, he likes to be different. He likes to, be against the grain, be his own person, his own individual. That's what you want in a quarterback. And you think about all the best personalities in quarterbacks. They're their own, right? I mean, Aaron Rodgers is his own kind of quarterback. He's literally dictated the best quarterbacks. We've seen them dictate to coaches, no, this is not the play I'm going to run, or something. So that's great. Loved hearing that. Then when they asked him what the headband meant, because a lot of people were interested in that as well, got the answer for you here. He said, any team, anytime, any place means that we're confident in ourselves and we're ready to play anybody. So basically means whoever you are, like he said, bring it any day, whatever it is. Great mentality. So you guys know how I feel. This is just exciting stuff, saying these things. And not only with that, you remember I tweeted a while back, and this is an interesting one. Remember, probably a little before the draft, you guys remember that Trevor Lawrence, was defending himself about, what he had said. Apparently he'd said that, football wasn't his life, is what he had said. And that, he had other things going on, and people got him for it. The reason they got him for it is because what Zach Wilson said. You guys remember it. I tweeted it back on the pro day. On Zach Wilson's pro day, he said, remember, football is my life. Football is all I have going on. It's all I do. Remember the teammates coming forward, saying how great a person he is, the character he has. And about Robert Saleh, in an interview today, what he said about Robert Saleh was, he said, I really like Robert Saleh. He genuinely understands that football is a team game. There's a 53-man roster, and it takes every single piece to make this thing go around. One guy's not going to do it on his own, and that's exactly it. That's the answer you want to hear. A team player. He's going to be a captain. He's going to be a leader, but he knows it's important that the guys are going to gravitate to him. That's what's going to happen. And we saw it at BYU. Guys like Dax Milne, guys like Bushman Max, the tight end, they gravitate to him. Kind of like a lot of people said about Baker, which was interesting. It's because this character crap came out. The people weren't saying that, but it's there. I've been saying it. I've shown you guys with the takes of his teammates coming forward, his coaches coming forward. We're going to see it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, we saw him high-fiving Jet fans on the way down. I mean, he's hyped. He's hyped to be here. He wants to be here. And I've been talking about the talent level nonstop, so I won't even get into it. It's awesome. I'm still, again, reeling over the fact that we got our guy, because, again, this is the guy I haven't stopped about. So I'm still like, there's still moments, like moments come to me and I almost like tear up a little bit. Like it's still happening. That's probably going to happen for another day or so. But before we move on to 34, because that's what I really want to talk to you guys about, the 34th pick, Vera-Tucker, man. Freaking Allah Hia Vera-Tucker. Oh my God. If you guys remember, you guys were here yesterday. I told you, when we did the mocks, that I felt, and I've been saying it for a while, I felt that Vera-Tucker was a top 15 pick because how excellent he is at everything. He's an outstanding pass blocker. I proved it today. I showed that his 2020 pass blocking grade was, I'm pretty, 92.8. I just want to confirm that because I have it up right here. Yeah. His pass blocking grade in 2020 was 92.8. 92.8. That was, I'm pretty confident, second best in all of college football last year. Amazing. So a guy like that, especially on a team that's been so porous at offensive line. But what I really want to mention is Joe Thomas, guys. Joe Thomas, if you're an offensive line guy like me and you love offensive line, you love Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas is a legend. He was one of the best left tackles. Even he's only been retired a little while. He's still one of the best. Shout out to Joe Thomas, man. He's still one of the best left tackles to ever play the game. Consistently healthy, consistently a Pro Bowler, consistently awesome. When he's there, your blind side is covered as long as he's there. So, and he came out today and they asked him if you guys are watching on the draft, he was asked what his favorite move was of round one. Easily, quickly, he said, my favorite move was the Jets and the Jets trading up for Vera-Tucker. What he said was, speaking my language with Mekhi Becton, you know how I feel about him. He was my guy. Joe Thomas said that the Jets last year took his favorite offensive lineman in Mekhi Becton, and now this year took his other favorite offensive lineman in Vera-Tucker, and he loves it, and I love it, because if he loves your offensive line decisions, you're making the right decisions. That's the best way to look at it. If Joe Thomas approves, like if Nick Mangold gives his stamp, then you're good. So that's awesome right there. We got his guy last year. We got his guy this year. You guys know my guy was Creed, and that's what I want to get at 34. Creed is still on the table. Creed is still there. I honestly, again, we talk about this stuff all the time. There's a difference between being a first-round prospect and actually going in the first round altogether. So Creed Humphrey, as we know, is the talent. I gave you guys, the whole defense with the pass blocking, the cerebral. No reason to get into it. He is a first-round talent. But to show how first-round talent slips, Owusu Koromoa. I'm still trying to process, honestly, how Owusu Koromoa is still on the board. Like when Jamin Davis went, I was like, okay. I mean, I like it. There's a lot there. He's not Owusu Koromoa, but I get it. When Zaven Collins went, I was like, stop. Just stop. What's happening? How is Owusu Koromoa still on the board? Crazy. This kid was the Butkus winner. Sorry, Butkus. That's hilarious. Butkus. You guys remember Dick Butkus? He was the Butkus Award winner for the nation's best linebacker. I've said it. Forget Micah Parsons. Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa was the best linebacker last year the best linebacker in this draft, in my opinion, not Parsons. Parsons is better. You guys remember I told you, if you line him up on the line of scrimmage, blitzing the quarterback, playing the run there, he is a little better. But in every other instance, it's Owusu Koromoa. In coverage, him and Jabril Cox are the best coverage linebackers in this draft, hands down. Like, it's Owusu Koromoa and Jabril Cox, and then, like, everyone else. These guys are legit in coverage. Owusu Koromoa, you guys remember, I said he shouldn't even be there at 23. Like, forget 23. Like, that was my pipe dream, remember? Where I was like, okay, if he's there, I'll take him. He's there now. And the way I look at it is I don't think Jaguars are going to linebacker. Linebacker doesn't make sense to me. But again, he shouldn't be there. So if they take Owusu Koromoa, Creed's still there. So the way I look at it is we should be getting one of these two guys. What I want to do, which I floated to you guys on Twitter, when we traded up for Vera-Tucker, it didn't honestly matter what we gave up. And people honestly felt the same way. And I felt the same way, too. Everyone was hyped. I mean, Vera-Tucker, we know who he is. He was the guy, the hyped guy. If he falls, we're lucky. No, Joe goes to get him. Because like the point I was making before, I said he was a top 15 talent. Joe took it further. Joe said he's a top 10 talent. Joe said he's top 10 and we got a deal. And I agree. We got a freaking deal. I've been comparing this in my mind. You want a comparison? Him in this draft is similar to when Brandon Scherf went high, to when Quinton Nelson went high. This is the caliber of offensive linemen we are talking about. Excuse me. If you guys tuned into Weapons Hot, I was going to try to find it, and get that clip actually. But I actually said right before, because we were talking about Vera-Tucker, and my take was, like we said, that he was going to go in the top 15, and that if we wanted him, we'd need to trade up. And one of my co-hosts, shout out to Spotty Blackman, Kevin. Kevin's a great guy. He said that, maybe we'll trade up 1 or 2 picks to the Colts. I said, no, that's not going to cut it. I said, if we want him, we have to get to like 12 or 13 or 14 with like the Chargers or maybe even the Cardinals. I was right, and not the exact right team, but that's the area. That was the range you have to get in, because I saw him going with the Chargers picking, needing interior offensive line, with the Vikings picking, with I don't know why I'm blanking on the Cardinals, with the Cardinals picking. Could have happened. Anybody. So Joe did the right thing. We gave away 2/3. We got Vera-Tucker. Remember, if he becomes what he's supposed to be, what's said is not going to be, oh my God, we gave away 3rd-round picks. People are going to say, wait a minute, that's all you gave up? Like, all you gave up was 2/3 to move up that high? And don't forget, Joe got a 4th. Joe, I love Joe, man. You know that. I've told you guys when it comes to trades. It's like, you look at the metric, and Joe always gets a little bit sweeter. Like, Joe gets always a little bit more than the metric says. Like, he's got that gifted gab. Like he just works him and gets a little bit more. And that 4th-round pick is a little bit more, because now we have 2 4th-round picks and 2 5th-round picks. I believe we have 2 6th. Yes, because we have 2 6th-round picks. So we have a lot of extra picks toward the end of the draft. What I would like to do, Owusu-Koramoah shouldn't be there. So, and this is my bold take. I was going to give you guys a bold take. Thank you guys for tuning in. Here's a bold take of mine. The fact that Owusu-Koramoah is still available is utter insanity. So if I had a pick between the two, you guys know I'm not a fan of McGovern at center. I'm really, really not. But the way I look at it, if Vera-Tucker's next to him, and I'm assuming Joe's doubling down at guard, one of those later picks, I told you guys, there's a lot of late talent in this draft. You got Kendrick Green, you got Aaron Banks, you got Cleveland, you got Brown. You could just list off names. There's names later in the draft. So Joe might be looking to get a guy there. At that point, and if McGovern stinks at that point, it's on him. Because now, you can't blame the guard play. But that's decent guards. You remember my take. I'm not going to take you guys in. We have potentially no linebackers. And easiest way, quick summary to think of it, what if CJ Mosley gets hurt or isn't ready to go? What if Gerard Davis is exactly what he was the last 4 years? If he just is what he was the last 4 years, which is very possible. It's actually the more likely outcome, whether you want to accept it or not. The more likely outcome is he stays the same. And if he stays the same, he's not a starter. He's like PFF 40 range, like 100-something linebacker. He's not a starter. The only one left is Blake Cashman, and that dude can't stay healthy. My take is he'd be legit. I think he's going to be legit as a 4-3 outside linebacker, but he's going to get freaking hurt in like week 3 or 4 or 6. He's not going to make it. So my bold take is I love Creed, man. I love Creed. I can't believe I'm almost saying this. But I'm going to say it. It's tough. I love Creed so much. I'm thinking if I can only have one, it would be Owusu-Koramoah. That's what I'm thinking now. That's the kind of talent level that Owusu-Koramoah brings to the teams. So Ken Paul's out. Jock, shout out to you guys. I always appreciate you guys being here. Chime in, love to bring up what you guys say. He said Jock's fallen because of a subpar year 1 of Isaiah Simmons. I would disagree. I mean, Jock was amazing last year. Again, Jock was the best linebacker in football. That's why he won the Buckus Award. That literally means it was the best line. And he was. That's my take. I think he's better than Parsons, in my opinion. Teams may not know how to use him. I would disagree because I've told you guys about Owusu-Koramoah before. Amazing speed, excellent agility. Okay, he's not the best at getting to the quarterback. He's a little smaller, so he's not going to get around the edges much. He'll be more like a box safety, honestly. He'll be more like a box safety in that kind of capacity of getting to the quarterback. But otherwise, he's a dynamo in coverage. I mean, man, zone, whatever you want, cover 2, pick something. He's awesome. And he's got great agility, great ball tracking skills. He's everything. Like, he's awesome. I also really love Nick Bolton too, but again, Kimura shouldn't be on the board. So that's my bold take. I mean, I'm thinking if I had to pick between the two, gun to my head, because we got Vera-Tucker, and I guess I'm going to give McGovern another shot. I mean, I guess I can. I really want Creed, guys. I really, really do. But Owusu Koromoa just makes too much sense. Because again, what if Mosley can't go? What if Davis is the same as he was? We don't have linebackers. I appreciate it, Matthias. Appreciate it, my bro. Thank you. Appreciate you guys being here. Love it. But we don't have linebackers. So it's tough, man. That's why I want to trade up. So let me get to that point. We have 2 4s, again, 2 5s and 2 6s. Let's make something happen. I mean, we know who Creed is. Let's make it work. So I haven't looked at the metric, I'll be honest. But if I had to just shooting off the top of my head, I would say to get back into maybe the mid-second to potentially get Creed, hoping, I don't know how much further he's going to make it, to be honest. I really don't. I really don't know how much further he can make it, guys. Because remember, if you guys saw me on Weapons Hot last night, and I pointed, actually, sorry, I pointed that to you guys as well. Yesterday on here, I showed you, remember the needs? We looked at the needs, and I showed you how a don't need, something teams don't need, is never offensive line. And especially interior guys, that's never something. People don't say, I don't need a quality offensive lineman. Like, who wants a McNick Mangold? Like, get out of here. That doesn't happen. So he can go at any point, any time, anywhere. I said the same thing about Panay Sewell. Like, anybody could potentially take him. So, but I'm kind of leaning toward Koromoa. So that's where I'm looking at this moment. What I want to do is, there's actually a lot of options here other than those 2 guys. That's my 2. And everyone has their own, and I respect that. Totally respect that. My guys, again, are Creed and Koromoa. Told you guys why. But I made a list. I made a list of about 14 guys that I deem were either should have been first-round guys or excellent talent at this spot, like an excellent pick at 34. Excuse me. So I start with Owusu Koromoa, then I mentioned Creed. The next one's easy. The next one's Pat Freiermuth. I've said it before, Pat Freiermuth is the most complete tight end in this draft. Easily the most complete. Kyle Pitts is the best receiver. I mean, he's basically a wide receiver with like free catchability at tight end. It's a freak option. It really is. But when it comes to a complete tight end, and I've compared Freiermuth to Antonio Gates in that way, not as a player, not in the receiving capacity, but in a full capacity where Antonio Gates was the kind of guy that does everything. He's going to block a guy inland. He's going to push him back, 5, 10 yards. He's going to make a chip block or cut, but he'll also go 10, 15, 20 yards downfield, make a great touchdown catch. Freiermuth is the most complete, and if Pitts wasn't here, one of the best tight ends. So I don't hate that pick at all. KC mentions, shout out again, appreciate you guys taking Jenkins. He's next on my list, going through the list. So I put it pretty much in my order, but again, everyone's is different. I have Freiermuth there because I personally, if I'm going lineman, it's Creed. But I have Tevin Jenkins next. And what's interesting about Tevin Jenkins is Tevin Jenkins projects a guard or tackle. He fits a tackle. He's got the physicality, the agility, long, decent arm length, but he's good against edge rushers. He proved very well against edge rushers in college. So he can play guard or tackle. Kick him into guard, or hell, play him a tackle and maybe let Fantry go. I don't know. But the point is you have options with him. So he's definitely a good pick. I would not be upset. Any of these 14 guys, I may clarify, any of the 14 guys I'm about to mention, I wouldn't hate as the pick. Wouldn't hate whatsoever. I have preferences, but I wouldn't hate. So first, Tevin Jenkins. Next, I have Wyatt Davis. You guys, I've told you all about him. He is possibly the best run blocking guard in this draft. He actually, I might say, is a better run blocker than, a better run blocker than Vera-Tucker, possibly, just a little bit, because Wyatt Davis is an insane run blocker. Yeah, and I brought it up before, Matthias, moving McGovern is a huge plus, because just getting into that quick, you guys know I've talked about it all the time. It's been a big thing for me, because when you look at McGovern, it's no knock on him that he doesn't have the cerebral traits. I mean, to be fair, as I pointed out, not many offensive linemen do. There's only like a handful of centers in the league that possibly do that and have that kind of quality. Nick Mangold was one of them. It's what made him a legend. It's what helped, as we've talked about, all the things I've said with you guys. You think the guard play would suck with him. You don't think he helps them pick up their assignments. We've seen it with Creed. I've seen video of Creed blocking 2 guys. Creed's basically like, okay, you missed your block. I got it. Don't worry about it. Just hang over there. I got this. It's all good. I've seen Creed block 2 dudes at the same time. Like, this man is a beast. I posted footage of him in high school. That was him out of high school, the footage I posted, guys, of him doing the bench. He put up like 24 reps. He's awesome. The cerebral abilities, but moving on from him, because again, I'm with you guys. I'm with you, Matthias, taking Creed, but want to get through the list for you guys. Wyatt Davis, excellent guard. The next one, Jalen Mayfield. And I'll be honest, if you're taking Tevin Jenkins to play guard, I get it. But if you're taking Tevin Jenkins to play tackle, I prefer Jalen Mayfield. And I have a long time. I really, really like Jalen Mayfield. And here's why. In the Big Ten in 2019, you guys remember Chase Young was there. Chase Young was there freaking dominating guys, like a man amongst boys, dominating tackles. There was only one Big Ten tackle in 2019 that Chase Young did not dominate. And that young man's name is Jalen Mayfield. Jalen Mayfield legit held his own against against Chase Young for every game he played him. Literally every game, Jalen locked the dude down. So if you're going tackle, I want Jalen Mayfield. But if you're taking Tevin Jenkins to play guard, I would choose between Jenkins and Wyatt Davis. If you're choosing Jenkins, I get it. But I would personally go Mayfield if we're going tackle. That's just my personal feeling on it. The next one is Azeez Ojulari. I feel like, and again, I hate saying this. I almost want to cut my own tongue out, like cut it out for saying it. Because you guys know I always say size isn't everything. Measurables don't mean anything. That's why I hate saying it. But the one knock with Ojulari is he doesn't fit well in a 4-3. He's more of a 3-4 guy because he's a little on the smaller side. But he's proven strong in college. He's proven very strong and very durable as a bull rusher, as well as a rusher with pass trees and finesse moves. So he would be a good option. I mean, I wouldn't hate the pick either if Ojulari's it. Same thing with Joseph Asai. Literally the same thing. People project him more as a 3-4 guy. They don't say 4-3. But again, I look at it as I pointed out to you guys, measurables aren't everything. You remember my joke. I like to make fun of John Elway. I say when you get wrapped up on measurables, you don't take a Kyler Murray. You don't take a Russell Wilson. You don't take a Baker Mayfield. What you do is you take a Paxton Lynch. You take a Brock Osweiler. That's what you do when you get too caught up on measurables. And that's honestly why I thought that when people said Mac Jones is going to the Broncos, I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. I'm like, that makes total sense. Didn't happen, but I was like, that makes sense. So Joseph Asai. After Asai, though, is Landon Dickerson. Landon Dickerson is a phenomenal addition because if you take Creed, he's center. If you take Dickerson, he's one of the best run blockers, period, in this draft. One of the best run blockers there is. He's a decent pass rusher. And this I pointed out with McGovern as well. This is the thing you guys have to keep in mind. When you got a guy like Wyatt Davis or you get a guy like Landon Dickerson, two guys that are excellent run blockers but need to work on pass protection, they're rookies. They're going to learn. McGovern's been in the league for 5, I think almost 6-something years now. He is what he is. He's not. Remember last year, he was actually pretty horrible. He was pretty horrible for a good chunk of the year and then kind of pretty good for the rest of the year. That's his ceiling. That's about where McGovern's going to be. So if we put good guards around him, maybe Joe's thinking that's going to allow him to succeed. Or if he doesn't succeed, you can cut him after next year. But I want Creed, but I'd rather take Owusu-Koramoah. That's been I've been struggling with it, guys. Like, I've been struggling with it. It's like for me to say, don't take Creed, it's like I'm freaking out. Like, I'm like, but I got to go Owusu-Koramoah there for all the reasons I mentioned. So I mentioned Dickerson. Another great option, Asante Samuel Jr. Now, Asante Samuel Jr. played on the outside of Florida State. And he says that he's an outside guy. He's like, I'm an outside guy. I'm playing outside my whole life. That's great for him and proud of him. That's awesome. But whether he thinks he is or not, he's not an outside guy. He's 5'10". He's 180 pounds. Granted, he comes from freaking amazing lineage. I mean, who's Asante Samuel? He comes from amazing lineage, and he's awesome. At his time in Florida State, he allowed no receivers to go over 100 yards. None. In his whole time at Florida State over those 3 years. Not one receiver, including Kyle Pitts, to go over 100 yards. Asante Samuel Jr. is the real deal. So that is another great option as a pick. Again, I would be fine with all these guys. The next one is Sam Cosmi. I don't hate Sam Cosmi. I'm just like, at 34, I'd rather Creed, I'd rather Tevin, I'd rather Wyatt, I'd rather Landon. So Sam Cosmi and Liam Eichenberg is the same thing. They're not bad prospects. They're not bad at all. And Liam Eichenberg is actually a really sound technician, but I want those other guys more. So I have them on the list. I mean, I don't hate them as picks. So I do have Landon Dickerson. Sorry, Landon Dickerson I would like. But I do have Liam Eichenberg and Sam Cosmi. Not thrilled with those because, again, I mentioned Creed Humphrey, Tevin Jenkins, Wyatt Davis, Landon Dickerson. 4 guys I would rather go with this pick over them. So, again, no hate against them, but it doesn't make sense to me. So the other 2 on this list, though, here's a curveball. I got a curveball for you guys. Ready? Trayvon Morig. How's that for an interesting curveball? Trayvon Morig plays safety, but if you watched him in college, he's a hell of a coverage guy. And I'm going to take you guys through my thought process because I thought it was funny as shit. I watched Morig play a little bit, and I was like, this guy's a great coverage safety. Like, why is he not playing corner? He's so good in coverage. Then I watched him line up against the line and flat out murder a running back. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I get it. I see why he plays safety. Morig was a potential first-round pick. This kid is like a coverage corner that hits like a safety. That's the best way to think of Morig. He's like, that's what I thought. Like, that was my funny thought process then. So that's a curveball right there. Another one, which I would prefer Koromoa. I told you guys I like him at 66, Nick Bolton. Now, I mentioned Nick Bolton here because I've said it before, and a lot of people are feeling this way too. He shot up Daniel Jeremiah's board. Daniel Jeremiah has Bolton as his 39th prospect out of everyone, 39. And I've said, forget Zaven Collins, next to Owusu Koromoa, who, again, let's be honest, guys, that has to be the pick. That has to be the pick. The kid's still on the board. Like, oh my God, he's still on the board. But next to Owusu Koromoa, I said Nick Bolton is the second best off-ball linebacker in this draft. Not Zaven Collins, which is why I couldn't believe Zaven Collins went before Owusu Koromoa. My brain's still trying to process that. It's not coming to me 100% because I've told you guys I'm not sold on Collins. Like, I watched him, and the joke is like, I just don't get it. Like, I mean, he's not a terrible player, but I've never seen anything to me that makes him warrant that high a pick, is the way to put it with him. I've never seen that. I think Bolton is a better prospect. So I say Bolton is the second best off-ball linebacker in this draft. You guys remember my whole take on him, why he's explosive, excellent in coverage, amazing in zone, ability to read the quarterback is insane and break up plays, hits like a freaking wrecking ball, but can move to the mic if a guy like Mosley can't go. And that's a different thing. I don't know if Owusu Koromoa can play the mic. He's on the smaller side. Like, I believe, I don't want to say the wrong person, I believe it was KSC or one of you guys, I apologize. One of you guys said that he's on the smaller side. I don't know if he'd, go to a mic. Bolton can. Bolton is the kind of guy, he could be a Mike now. He could be drafted to be a Mike and play a Mike in anyone's system. So I wouldn't mind that curveball. Again, I prefer Owusu Koromoa, but if Joe Douglas decides that he likes Nick Bolton over Owusu Koromoa, I'm cool with that. Like, I'm cool with that. That's awesome. That's great. So I want to say that was 14. Yeah, that's my 14 guys. So I have it up on Twitter if you guys want to check it out. I'll retweet it right now so you guys can see it. I was actually going to put it back out before the draft so people can check it out. These are the 14 guys that I really like with this pick. But again, I want to possibly trade up. Because think about what Vera-Tucker, like I was saying before. We gave away 2/3, but we got Vera-Tucker. We got Vera-Tucker. Like that, the ends justify the means. That's how you put it. The ends justify the means. If we have to trade up and give a little bit away, but we get Owusu Koromoa and Creed Humphrey, the ends justify the means. It totally, totally does. Even if, I don't think it'll be this much, but let's just say even it's 2/4 and a fifth. That's a lot. That's a lot. Let's say it's 2/4 and a fifth. If it guarantees, let me make that clear. If it guarantees that I can get Jock and Creed, I'll do it. I'll do it every day. Because when Creed becomes amazing again, no one's going to say you gave up so much. People are going to say, that's it. That's what they're going to say. That's all you gave up to get a guy of that quality. All these teams passed on him? Oh, shit. Imagine that. So that's what I would do. And if Joe walks away with Zach Wilson, Vera-Tucker, Owusu Koromoa, and Creed Humphrey. That's it. I don't give a shit. He can take the rest of the picks and close his eyes and just point at a board. I don't care. He nailed it. That's it. It's over. If we have those 4 guys, that's it. Joe Douglas is a legend. We're going overnight. You can join me. We're building a statue. Forget bronze. We're giving this mother trucker gold. He's getting a gold statue right in front of One Jets Drive. So Matthias points out you got to improve the cornerback situation in the pass rush. I agree, and that's what we're going to do with the later picks. There's plenty of guys I like. With the later picks in the draft, Elijah Molden is an excellent option. This kid plays at Washington. He played in the slot his whole career there, and he was excellent, but he projects as an outside guy. He's big enough, physical enough to play on the outside. So he's everything. He's a great option. I really like Rodarius Williams. People sleep on him. He's from Oklahoma State. That kid, again, to me, looks like a CB1. He measures up. He's got the size. He's got the physicality. He, plays tough, plays at the line of scrimmage, covers well. I like him a lot. A couple of other guys I like with sleeper picks. Benjamin St. Juste is a physical freaking specimen. He's built like Antonio Cromartie. He has the potential. Again, potential. He's raw. He's got to be molded. We need a cornerback coach to mold the man. But St. Juste can be molded into an amazing shutdown corner. Like the sky's the limit with this kid. I also like Paulson Adebo. There's other names. I mean, there's a bunch of other names I could throw out. Paulson Adebo, there's a bunch of guys. So there's a lot of good cornerback. Pass rush, you guys know I love Patrick Jones. Patrick Jones translates perfectly to our 4-3 system. He would be perfect in this system. In 2019, for about half the season, he led all of college football in sacks. He's consistently putting up over 8 sacks a season. I don't get why the dude is slept on. The dude is a beast and a bull, but he's got a decent pass rush tree. The way I look at it is, I've told you guys before, I love watching Pitt defense because him and Rashad Weaver, before we signed Carl Lawson, bro, I love that defense. It was just like every other play, it was like pocket collapse. It was just in we go, like quarterbacks getting them, like always collapsing. And Weaver and Jones were freaking bulls, man. Bulls. But all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, this dude's a bull. But then Jones throws in a spin move. And I'm like, whoa, where'd that come from? And then he throws in a swim move. And I'm like, oh, I love it. This kid is it, man. He is it. I don't know why he is so lowly projected. Like, I don't get why a guy like Joe Tryon, who has 1 year of production. That's it. That's it. Never done anything other than that. He gets a first-round pick. A guy like Patrick Jones, who's put up 8 sacks every year, more than 8 sacks some years, is like a 3rd, 4th-round pick. I don't get it. So that's an excellent option if you want to go pass rush. Matthias agrees exactly. I'm with you, bro. So those are a couple of options there, but we need linebackers. So I don't think Nick Bolton's going to be available that late, but we need more linebackers. Like I just pointed out, we may have nobody. So even if we get one, that's still only one. I know I've said, you guys have heard my take, we need 2. So 2 guys I like later. If we use one of the 4th-round picks on a linebacker, Chaz Surratt. Chaz Surratt is an outstanding option, excellent at pretty much everything. But a guy I honestly like a little more, and I'm not saying he's better than Chaz Surratt. Please understand that. I'm saying I like his value at where he's going more. So Charles Snowden is projected to go at like the end of the 5th. He's projected really, really late. But I freaking love this kid, man. I mean, the kid goes to Virginia. He's what you want in a prototypical 4-3 outside linebacker. He's got the size, the height, the speed, the agility, everything. He's not great in coverage, but he's not bad. He's not bad at all. Again, these guys, no one, if you're drafting a guy in the 4th and 5th round and you're expecting him to be, like Matthias just said, a shutdown corner, you don't get the draft. Like, these are the guys you have to know. These are the guys that you find. That's why we say someone found a gem. We didn't say they just picked somebody. They found a guy. So you find a guy like this. I'm telling you, Charles Snowden, he's not bad in coverage. He's got it. It's there. But the dude's pass rush ability is crazy. Like, I watch this kid consistently get to the quarterback, and I'm like, okay, he's got no pass rush tree. Like, he's just either bulling through a tackle or beating him around the edge. That's it. Like, he's winning on raw physicality or speed alone. Like, that's it. Like, there's no moves. There's no flashiness. There's just, I'm going to beat you. Watch me. So the potential is like sky high. You teach a kid like that how to, if he develops a pass rush tree, that's a 4-3 outside linebacker with potentially 8+ sacks a season. That's awesome. I love Charles Snowden. He could potentially be had in the 5th round or so. So that's some other options we can do. But honestly, that's it. I don't want to keep you guys too long. You know, this is exciting, but I want you guys to ask me some questions. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. But again, that's my 14 guys that I just ran you through. That's the 14 guys that I would take, that I really like and wouldn't hate with this pick. I wouldn't hate any of them. I have my preference. I gave you guys, you know, the Owusu-Koramoah thing. That hurt me, man. That hurt me to say no Creed. It really did. But we need it. We need a solid linebacker in case Mosley can't go for some reason. So Owusu-Koramoah is, in my opinion, again, the most solid linebacker you can get. I think he's the best linebacker in this draft, period. I'm saying it. End of story. That's it. Parsons is better, like I said, in one aspect. Everything else is Owusu-Koramoah. Like Matthias says, we have a bunch of picks next year. Why do you accumulate picks? You accumulate picks to potentially make deals. That's what Joe did. He used what he accumulated to move up. I would do it again. We have a lot of picks, and we can also trade back. Let's say we have to give a 4th and a 5th to move. You know what? Let's say it was a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th. Let's go with that, because that potentially, I think, could do it. A 4th, a 5th, and a 6th to move back into the middle of the 2nd. Sorry, the 3rd, potentially. The middle of, well, no, by then Creed would be gone. So, okay, I'm doing metrics in my head now, which is kind of funny. We're doing metrics right now. 2nd's a pretty high pick. So if you're going to go for a mid-2nd, let's go crazy for a second here. Let's go a little crazy. Let's say it costs next year's 2nd, because we have 2 seconds next year, thanks to Joe Douglas. Again, people, you know, question the fact that, oh, the Sam Darnold trade, he didn't get enough. We speculated, if we're lucky, we'll get a 2nd. He got a 2nd. What does it matter that it's next year? We talked about it. Joe, 6 years. Salah, 6 years. This is the long haul, baby. Rome wasn't built in a day. You got to crawl before you walk. We aren't. And if you guys are expecting, if anyone out there, if you're going to crap on this team and crap on Zach Wilson for not having 10+ wins, please don't show up. Don't show up, because we have a rookie head coach, a rookie offensive coordinator, a rookie quarterback. I'm hoping for success, baby. I'm excited about success. I think we're going to have it. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll be a great team. But greatness doesn't happen overnight. You earn greatness. Forgot the amazing men who said that. But greatness is earned. It doesn't just come to you. You don't just get handed it. It's baby steps. Baby step 1 was Joe Douglas. The big step 2 was Robert Saleh. The sealer, the closer, was the quarterback. And we got him. We got him, guys. I don't want to tear up, so I'm not going to. We got him, guys. We got Zach freaking Wilson. So the pieces are there. Everything else just has to be put together, but we have a guy like Joe. Joe knows what he's doing, man. Joe's got this down. You remember I tweeted it out earlier today? I said it. Remember back when the first draft happened, I was like, Joe killed it. And you guys are like, what are you talking about, man? That's too early. It's been a day. None of these guys have done anything. I'm like, trust me. He killed it. And it's after watching all of the failure before. You guys have seen it. I'm not saying I'm the greatest of all time. I'm not Daniel Jeremiah, but I do my own eval. And I do my own personal eval, evaluate my players my own way. Whenever the picks come up for the Jets in the past, with the past GMs, there were always guys I wanted. I had about 4 or 5 guys that I really, really liked and wanted with that pick. And then Itzik or freaking McCagnon would go out of left field and take a guy I didn't want, or they'll reach for a guy or someone that I don't even know, someone that I legit have to look up. And I'm like, that's not good. I should at least have an idea who the guy is. Like, what the hell? Man. But takes a guy like Sam Darnold, doesn't take another offensive lineman. That's the point, guys. Look at what Joe's done. Joe came into a team. It's not hard. You don't need to be a blind man to see it. Every position that we suck at are positions that we haven't addressed early in the draft. Joe Douglas went and got us an offensive lineman last year. an offensive lineman that we hadn't taken since 2006. And in 2006, lo and behold, it was DeBrickashaw Ferguson and Nick Mangold, the two staples of our line for a decade. The reason that line was great, sure, there was other talent, but those were the staples of that line. What does Joe do? He addresses that and gets Mackay. And just like Joe Thomas said, he took his favorite offensive lineman last year, and now Joe traded up, and man, that got me giddy. You guys saw my tweet. It was in all caps. If you want to check it out, I was on the Weapons Hot podcast. Man, I freaked out. I was the first one to notice. They're all talking, and I'm like, I started freaking out. They're all like, what the shit happened? They traded up, man, and I knew it. The second they did it, I had said, if they're going to get Vera-Tucker, they can't, pussyfoot around this and go with 20 or 18. They got to go to 12, to 13, to 14. That's where you got to go if you want to get a guy of that quality. Again, the way I think about it this way, you can compare this kind of a prospect and the way he went to when Brandon Scherf went 6th overall in his draft, to when Quentin Nelson went, I don't remember the number, I think it was like 4, don't quote me, went super high in that draft. He should have been that kind of a guy. I said top 15. Joe with the freaking mic drop, baby. Joe's like, he's a top 10. Joe's like, Vera-Tucker's a top 10 talent. And we got him at 14. Done. So again, my take is, I can't believe I'm saying it. I can't believe I'm honestly saying it, but because Vera-Tucker is so good, because I honestly do believe in Cam Clark. I've said it before. I believe in that kid a lot. I really, really do. But KSC makes a good point, just to shout out you guys again. I appreciate you guys commenting. I get no more trading up, but try to look at it the way with Vera-Tucker. The ends easily justified the means. Like anyone complaining that they had to give away 2/3, it's because they're looking at it from the draft perspective. Everyone wants talent. You want as many guys as you get. Wait till Vera-Tucker plays a little bit. I'm not knocking any of these guys. Maybe some of them haven't seen him play. Wait till he plays a little bit. Wait till he puts that 92.8 rating in pass blocking to use. That's going to change. And again, it changes quick. People aren't going to say, oh, you gave away 2/3. They're going to say, that's it. We're going to go, wait. They're going to go, that's it. And you got a fourth? Joe Douglas killed it. Joe Douglas, like Jamal Adams, he went to the Seahawks and he pulled off a magic trick. He said, I don't know what he did. He said, look over here. He did something over here and he pulled off magic. That's what Joe does, man. And I love it. Like I was saying before, it's like he's got the metric and he always goes a little bit sweeter. Like, check it out. Look it up. He always wins these trades. It's always like, I don't know what it is. It's like a last jab. He's like, by the way, will you throw in a fourth? I don't know, something, and it works. So we have 2 4s, 2 5s, 2 6s. If we had to give away a decent amount, bro, you guys remember we talked about Creed. You know who Owusu-Koramoah is. I've told you about him just now. Imagine getting those two guys, and that's the way you got to look at it. The ends justify the means. Like I said, if we walk away with Zach Wilson, Vera-Tucker, Owusu-Koramoah, and Creed Humphrey, dude, I don't care. I'm serious. I don't care. Like, that's it. He could, like I said, pick random names with the rest of the picks. Joe Douglas killed that draft. And don't remember, he's got picks next year. He's got picks he can wheel too. Like I said, we have 2 seconds next year, thanks to Joe Douglas. Maybe he gives away one of those. And again, man, if he becomes Creed Humphrey, you ain't going to question it. You're not going to question it. And I think what's unanimous is Jet fans questioned me saying he would go at 23, which again, I still feel he was a first-round prospect. But people didn't question him going. People wanted him at 34. Everybody wants him because they see what this cerebral center. I can't stress it enough. Forget PFF with run. We talked about it. He's better at the run than they even give him credit for. But pass blocking is where it's at. He's an outstanding pass blocker and excellent. The cerebral abilities, you can't talk about him enough. You can't. You just can't. So, again, guys, I appreciate you guys being here. That's my steps. I'll talk to you guys a little bit about, I don't know if you guys have any other questions. Again, send them along. You got any questions you want me to talk about? I'm happy to do it, man. Happy to do it. I appreciate it, man. Casey's saying he sees the live drafts for till AM, but you see more hardcore. I appreciate it, bro. And it's, again, you guys know what I love my Jets. And that was kind of, I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but that was kind of, why the Mark Schlereth situation happened. I saw, what was going on, and I saw that he was, using his clout to like go after fans. And it was nasty shit you don't see from guys of that status, middle fingers, guys of that level of broadcaster of dignity, respect, or should have respect. And what I was watching was fans were tweeting something and he was going after them. But then I noticed his troll of minions were coming after these people. And you could tell they were coming after him so bad that the original people were deleting their tweets. And that's what pissed me off. I'll be dead honest. That's where I was like, okay, like I'm a Jet fan. Like we mentioned, we're family. I'm not saying I'm huge. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complimenting myself here, but I'm saying because, I do have decent traction. I've taken shit before. You guys have seen it. I've had people come at me hard. Hell, with the 49ers, I said it. Surprised me. I said it that Jimmy Garoppolo last season wasn't a franchise quarterback. I said that. Turns out I was right, but I said Jimmy Garoppolo is not a franchise quarterback. He's never going to win you guys the Super Bowl. He's good. He's talented, but he's never going to be that guy. I took a ton of stuff. I even went as far to saying Nick Mullins was better. I still stand by that. I said at the time, check it out. The receipts are there, I bet. I'm not into the whole receipt thing, but you can find it. I said I think Nick Mullins is the better option there, and that's the guy they should use. So I figured, I saw that happening, and I was like, send that at me. That's what I was like. If you're going to do that to people, I'll take it. And I didn't even think he was going to respond. So I'm not even going to get into too much about it, but I didn't even think he was going to respond. So then it kind of just went from there. So Frank asks, would I trade down from 34? I would say no, because again, it comes down to Owusu Koramoah. I don't know if you were here before when I was talking about him, man. If you weren't, feel free to tune back. It's the real deal. This kid shouldn't even been there at 23. He's the best linebacker on this board. Easy decision. You can't trade back from 34 when a guy like Owusu Koramoah is there. It's the same kind of logic where you trade up for Vera-Tucker because he's the best guard. Owusu Koramoah is the best linebacker. Period. Again, I keep saying Bupkis. It's hilarious. The Butkus winner for a reason. So Owusu Koramoah, you got to take him. I hate to say it again because it's Creed and it's killing me, man. It's killing me. But that's why I want to come back up. I want to come back up. You guys remember how you freaked out. Come on. You guys remember how you freaked out when we traded up for Vera-Tucker. If we trade up again, you're going to freak out. You're going to get excited. So I'm telling you, trade up, get excited, get hyped, get both of them. Get Owusu Koramoah, get Creed Humphrey, murder the draft. Just Joe Douglas just mic dropping everywhere. Just it's over. Just like if it's a wrestling match, tap out. Like every other GM, just tap out. It's over. Joe Douglas killed it. Game over. Like I said, I don't care about the rest of the picks. That's it. So that's how I feel about that situation. If you guys have any other questions, again, bring it on. If you guys wanted to know anything. Yeah, Ralph saying, man, as soon as I heard the Jets were on the clock at 14, I started whooping. Bro, I was saying it, man. I was in with Weapons Hot. I'm going to be doing it today, actually, too. So if you guys want to check it out, I'll be there as well. Weapons Hot Podcast. We're on YouTube as well. I'm going to be there live during the second and third round. So I'll be there. And if there's a trade, I'm going to lose my mind again. But remember, I said it. I was like, if the Jets are going to trade up, you got to move up, and you got to get to that 12, 14-ish, 15 spot. And when they traded up, I knew it, man. I was like, I freaked out. Check it out in the video. Everyone's talking, and I'm just like, I look up, and I'm like, holy shit. I lost my mind, man. I was excited. Like Kev says, that's it. That's it. It's the same logic. No one's going to say, oh, you gave away 2/3 for Vera-Tucker. And again, the people that are saying that, they probably haven't seen Vera-Tucker, which is fair. I'm not making fun of anyone, but I'm telling you, once they watch Vera-Tucker, that's going to change. It's going to change quick. They're going to be like, oh, this is what we gave up 2/3 for. And we got a fourth? Okay, I'm good. I'm good. It works. Because that's the thing, man. Vera-Tucker, like I said, 92.8 pass blocking grade. I didn't look up the run blocking grade, but I guarantee it's high too. Probably not that high, but I guarantee it's high as well. Man, he is the man. Like KSE points out, man, Vikings were praised because they got 2 extra thirds, still got their alignment at 23. If I could point out, man, that was last year, bro. That was last year. Joe Douglas did it with Denzel Mims. We can't forget that. We can't forget that because that tells us something so important. That tells us that Joe Douglas, again, I talked about the brilliance of him so much long, that if Joe Douglas doesn't just understand the value of what he values, he understands what other teams freaking value. He understands what this team is going to do with this pick based on their need, based on what that GM likes. That's what he showed us by trading back, because we all said it. I can't believe we saw it, right? We saw Jets Twitter freaking explode when he traded back and say, that's it. That's it. We lost Mims. That was it. It was like, that's it. He passed up on Mims. He's a freaking idiot. I knew better because I love the guy. Everyone was like, off with his head, off with Joe Douglas's head. Forget this guy. He's the worst GM ever. He gets him anyway. He gets Mims. That tells you he understands what other teams are going to do. That's an underappreciated talent. So that's why I think if he's going to get Creed better than my ass does, he knows who's going to take him. Say he knows where he's got to go. He knows exactly where he has to be. And that's what Casey's saying. Exactly, man. He knows. I feel like I got a decent dial on it, but I know I ain't JD, man. JD's the freaking legit. And that's the thing I point out to people all the time, too. They're like, I know more than the scouting departments of these teams. Like, I feel like, I could maybe hold my own against one guy. Maybe. But you got to keep in mind, this is a team. Like, Joe Douglas is surrounded by like-minded people that he put into this position, that he trusts their judgment. They've seen everybody. People are like, oh, I discovered this guy. Joe, you should look at him. Joe's seen him. Joe's seen everybody 10 times. He knows. So that's always just a funny thing I always found. But exactly, like Matthias says, that's a great way to put it. I said ends justify needs. Quality over quantity. That's exactly it. You can have a bunch of later round guys that have potential. Yeah, they have potential. But none of those guys are Owusu Koromoa, and none of those guys are Creed Humphrey. In fact, put everybody in the draft back on the board. Round one didn't happen. Round one, those guys are back on the board. There's still no center with cerebral abilities like Creed Humphrey. He is the only one that I've seen in this draft. If someone's doing it, then they're hiding it. They're keeping it to themselves. But Creed is it, man. So exactly, quality over quantity. If we trade up, people are going to freak out. That's what's going to happen. People are going to freak out again. They're going to get excited. And I feel like it would be for Creed. That's what I would do. I would take Owusu Koromoa here because you can't not. Remember the linebacker position, like I mentioned, it's a black hole. Linebacker is literally a black hole in an abyss right now of potential nothing. And this is what I pointed out. People forget that before Robert Saleh was a defensive coordinator, do you remember he was a linebackers coach? Robert Saleh was a linebackers coach. So you don't think Robert Saleh's in Joe Douglas's ear when people are going, cornerback, and we talked about them knowing more. He's like, yeah, cornerback's a need, but bro, I need linebackers. Like, what is happening here? Like, I need a linebacker. Like, bad. So that's important. So Owusu Koromoa, you trade up for Creed. That's my take. That's what I would do. But if I had to have one, it's Owusu Koromoa. And that kid is going to be amazing at the next level. If you didn't watch him at Notre Dame, just turn on some tape. Type in Owusu Koromoa highlights, film, whatever you want to type in. Doesn't really matter what it is, honestly, because every play shows this kid's potential. Again, Butkus Award winner for a reason. So Kevin mentions Creed going 33. And again, I pointed out to you guys before, offensive line's like one of those positions. Remember yesterday, I showed you guys the chart. They had everyone's needs. When it comes to not needs, what they list as a team doesn't need it. It's never freaking offensive line. It was one team quit, the Colts. Remember, I made the joke. Okay, they got Nelson. So okay, they're fine. Whatever, they're good. Most other teams will never say they're good. So yeah, Kevin, it's possible. I mean, most people would say no, but I'm telling you right now, it's possible. Anything is possible, honestly, because it's a cerebral center that you don't see very often, like a Nick Mangold. Why the hell not? Like we would do. You kick your center to guard. Unless your center's that, his ass is moving over. So that's the way I'm looking at it. But yeah, I'm with you, man. I'll have a heart attack if we get both these guys. That's what I'm thinking. So that's what I want to do. I get the trepidation. I do. I see from KSE. I get it. I totally get the trepidation, but it's the same trepidation people have with Vera-Tucker. with AVT. And I'm telling you right now, just remember everything. Check it out. Go back. You guys know I've been doing nothing but literally nothing but talk about Creed Humphrey for like the last 3 months or so, 4 months, probably a little bit longer. Check it out. There's a reason you take him, and you can't pass on Owusu Koromoa. You just can't. I don't get how he's this far. Like, it's just, I'm literally trying to figure it out how Owusu Koromoa is still on the board, and I can't come up with an answer. I can't. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Like always, this is a special edition of the Take Flight Spit and Fire podcast. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you guys for tuning in the chat. KSE, Kev, we got Matthias in here, my man. We got Ralph was in here as well. Frank was in here. Armin was in here for a little while. Eric was in here actually for a little while too. Stuart was here. A lot of you guys. I appreciate it, guys. I really do. I appreciate you guys being here. It's fun talking Jets, and this is exciting, man. This is the draft. This is where it's at, and we already got Zach Wilson and Allahan and Vera-Tucker. So this is it, man. I mean, everything else I hope Douglas nails, but just remember that. We got Zach Wilson. We got him. We got Zach Wilson, man. Oh, and we got Vera-Tucker. We got the best guard easily in this draft for every obvious reason. That's it right there. Like, that's it. Everything else I'm excited about, but that's it. If he gets Owusu Koromoa, then you realize Joe Douglas got Zach Wilson, the best guard in this draft, and then the best linebacker. Like, I'm thinking, I made the joke earlier with Wayne's World. I'm thinking we all got to get like, we ain't worthy. Like, we ain't worthy of this. Like, man, if we get Owusu Koromoa, that'll be the best guard in Vera-Tucker, followed by the best off-ball linebacker in Owusu Koromoa. So, and Kevin says we got next year's draft. Careful, man. My heart's already palpitating. I'm getting excited thinking about, having the best linebacker. You're going to say next year's draft all of a sudden just flatline. But yeah, man, I'm excited. Joe's got the picks. And I pointed this out during the season. Remember when he traded away Steve McClendon for a late round pick? Everybody was like, what the hell? Remember, I was saying, hold on, wait a minute, chill out for a second. Steve McClendon is not in our future plans. You have to accept that. I love Steve McClendon. Don't be wrong. I freaking love Steve McClendon. Steve McClendon was the man. He was an excellent run stuffer. He was a hell of a leader. He was a gym rat. I love Steve McClendon. But he's not in your future plans. So anyone that's not in your future plans, you trade away for potential draft picks. And that's what Joe's done over the last 2 years. And what does he have to say for it? 20-something picks in 2 years. That's what Joe Douglas has got to say for it. Excuse me. Because that's what you do. That's how you cultivate a team and cultivate talent. But that's my take, man. I want Owusu Koromoa and I want Humphrey. I want Joe to find a way to do it. But if he has to have one, it's Owusu Koromoa. And then we have Wilson, the best guard in this draft, and then the best off-ball linebacker in this draft. And Joe is just, I'm telling you, man, we ain't worthy. We ain't worthy of this. I've been saying it since last year's first draft. Remember back then when people are like, you're crazy. Best GM, you're nuts. I'm like, you'll see. Same thing I'm saying now. If you don't think he's a great GM, just wait. Just wait. I saw what I needed to from what I look for, what I like in GMs immediately, everything he did. Adams trade, the way he's in press conferences, freaking everything. I was just like, this is the guy. Like, we found him. Comes from the Ozzie Newsome school, the Ozzie Newsome school of GMs. If that's a freaking college, man, he came from Harvard. Joe Douglas came from Harvard. He's got the degree, baby. So like Big Tarak says, I'm excited. I'm saying Joe Douglas. I've been saying that Joe Douglas is a great GM. If you don't feel that way, again, I say we see. We'll see, okay? If you don't think he is, give it a little bit more time. Eventually, you will see that Joe Douglas is the freaking man. Like Big Tarak says, in Joe we trust. So like always, again, I appreciate you guys being here for the Take Flight Spit and Fire podcast. Always a pleasure spitting that fire at you guys. Thank you for being here. As you know, this special broadcast, we're always going to be live on Mondays, so make sure you're there. I'm going to be live on Monday, 7 p.m., talking about this draft, talking about the picks, getting all excited, talking about what we still could potentially do, because, again, Rome wasn't built in a day. It's baby steps, my guys. We're going to get there, but if we build, think of it like a building. If you build a building too fast out of a bad foundation, what's going to happen to that building? That's what Joe Douglas, my bad. That's what Adam Gase and guys like McCagnon tried to do. That's not how you do it. You build it well. You build it right. You build it strong. And you ain't getting stronger than Mekhi Becton, baby. That's how you build strong when you got a guy like Mekhi. So thank you guys again for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Like always, I'm Harrison Glazer. And Let's have a freaking amazing second and third